What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my series of James Bond reviews leading up to No Time to Die in April. I have with me Bond aficionado and my cousin Pat again.
Hello.
You've seen him on previous videos. We just talked about Live and Let Die. Now we're going to be talking about The Man with the Golden Gun, starring Roger Moore as James Bond in his second outing.
The Man with the Golden Gun.
You want to explain the plot to these lovely young people?
Sure, okay. I didn't have anything prepared, so excuse me.
Here, you want me to go get my iPad for the notes?
No, it's fine, so I'm just going off the cuff. It seems that James Bond is being targeted by an assassin who's left a golden bullet with 007 engraved on it. It leads into a whole bunch of stuff, including
A Solex agitator.
A Solex agitator, which then there's a giant laser golden gun. That's the real golden gun of the movie. And the assassin, Francisco Scaramanga, the greatest James Bond villain of all time.
Played magnificently by Christopher Lee.
The legendary Christopher Lee,
yeah.
Back when he was just slightly old, but not when he was quite old
He
yet.
was slightly old.
He was still a legend and still badass. So he wants this Solex agitator, but he's making it look like he wants to kill James Bond, sort of, except he didn't do it. His girlfriend did it because his girlfriend's betraying him. And Nick Nack is there. Nick Nack's great.
He's the greatest henchman
I'm not the best at explaining this plot, as you could probably tell. But this movie's kind of all over the place sometimes. James Bond winds up into the Academy of Ninja Karate people that try to kill him, and he escapes. J.W. Pepper's there. There's a woman named Midnight. She's really annoying, and she bumps into things that she should not be bumping into.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. What else happens in this movie? Nick Nack's great.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Nick Nack is great.
Yeah. Okay. That was a very detailed plot. Explanation.
It's a very
it was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I commend you.
Thank you.
Basically, what we're saying is this movie's awesome.
It is great.
Yeah. This is actually.
You like this movie, huh?
So this is probably a hot take for both of us that we actually really like this movie. I think this is the one that people look at and are just like, why would anybody like this movie?
For reasons I just explained.
Exactly.
Christopher Lee's awesome. Nick Nack's awesome. There's an awesome car flip.
This is for me. Okay. The Spy Who Loved Me is definitely the better movie. I think that's the best Roger Moore movie. But this is definitely the one that I have the most fun with. This is my second favorite Roger Moore movie.
Spy Who Loved Me does not have Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Therefore,
it is inferior. Seriously, though, it's not as good as that.
Yeah,
Spy Who Loved Me is classic.
But like when I think of like the Roger Moore Bonds, this is instantly like one of the couple that comes to mind in terms of like Roger Moore Bond films, because this was actually the first Roger Moore Bond film I saw.
Really?
Yeah.
This was my mother's favorite.
So it holds a special place in your heart.
Yes, it's. I've seen it many times.
Yeah, this movie just never bores me. No, even in all its silliness. And
it is
cheesiness.
A goofy movie.
There's
the Goofy movie starring Goofy, but this is the Goofy James Bond movie.
Exactly.
Without Goofy.
But like
if it had Goofy.
But like unlike some of the other movies in the Roger Moore era where they do get goofy and like silly and campy and cheesy and like all that, I feel like they go over the top with that. They do go over the top. Yeah, they do go over the top in this movie, but they do it in a way where it's just puts a big dumb smile on my face. Yeah. Like where it's just like, I can accept that. You know, like I like it's just done in a way where it's like I'm having too much fun already.
You know what the funniest part of this movie is?
The ninja school.
Well, a little after that, when he's escaping on the boats, and there's that little kid trying to sell the elephant statues, and he's like, "Mr. Elephant, $5."
Elephant, real elephant. 60 baht. You are very handsome man, 40 baht. For you, mister, 20 baht.
I'll tell you what, Sonny, I'll give you 20,000 baht if you can make this heap go any faster.
20,000 baht.
I'm afraid I have to owe you.
Bloody tourist. 20,000 baht.
He's telling him, he's like, give me your prices. And Bond literally takes this kid by the face and pushes him off the boat. I forget what he says.
Alright, we're taking 5 because we're dying of laughter.
Also, have I mentioned Nick Nack is awesome?
Yeah, Nick Nack
is one of the best henchmen. He's my fiance's favorite henchman because he's great. He's loyal until he's not. When he's telling people, if you kill him, this all will be mine. And he's just like helping. He's like has his own little fun house that he's operating behind the scenes. Oh, a little further, Mr. Scaramanga. Better luck next time. Like, he's so great.
Yeah,
He's so great.
I've always felt bad for him at the end when Bond puts him in the suitcase.
That's messed up. And then ties him to the mast. It's like, who does that?
I mean, like you would think Bond would let him go after Nick Nack screaming, "Hey, put me down, you big bully!"
It's great. I love Nick.
Yeah, Nick Nack's awesome. He's. I don't know if he is my favorite henchman, but he's up there.
He's just charming.
He's
and
amazing.
also evil.
Yeah, he's really evil.
He's great. When he's behind him at the stadium, eating the peanuts with the little gun behind him.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I've always loved that scene too. I forget what context it was in. I think Bond gets captured or something. And he's dressed up with like
yeah. He's dressed up as the.
And then it's like everybody stop, and then he just stops. You just see him frozen, and then it's like, all right, take him away. And then finally he just it's Nick Nack, man.
And Scaramanga, probably one of the best Bond villains.
The great Christopher Lee, I should say.
To us, Mr. Bond, we are the best.
There's a useful four-letter word, and you're full of it.
Yeah.
He was great. I mean, he's an actual foe for Bond. He seems like he can actually feel like he was gonna probably kill him in that fight until he got outsmarted.
Yeah.
He's a great bad guy.
Yeah.
He's got he doesn't really talk much for the first half of the movie, which is interesting.
He's got a cool gun.
He's got a cool gun that's made of all sorts of different things, like a pen, cigarette lighter, stuff
cigarette
like that.
case.
Yeah, like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. The trigger is like a cufflink, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
He's got the greatest deformity ever.
And Christopher Lee was related to Ian Fleming, so he
well,
really wanted to make sure that it was done well.
Yeah.
So he cared a lot about this.
We got to talk about his deformity. One of the greatest deformities ever.
What is the scientific term?
I don't know. I just know it's a third nipple.
It's a third nipple.
the part that's always confused me though is when Bond like tries to impersonate him, and it's just like one, and then
the fake one.
Yeah. It
like,
reminded me of like the three-boobed Martian.
And they have what's her name, who eventually played Octopussy.
Maud Adams.
Yeah,
she plays Andrea Anders.
Yes, she was
Scaramanga's mistress.
Treacherous mistress who dies in a very terrifying way in the middle of a crowd, but nobody sees or hears her die.
No.
She's just sitting there with a bullet hole in her. It's terrifying.
It is very terrifying.
But yeah, she also, again with Roger Moore, he's a
little rough with her.
He gets very physically abusive to a woman who's already implied to be physically abused by Scaramanga quite often.
Yeah.
So it's a little like, Bond, what are you doing? You know, I've always seen him. He's in the Pierce Brosnan vein of he doesn't seem like he gets into scraps.
No.
Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, they look like they Dalton, yes, a little bit. They look like they could they'll just fight someone in the street. Just cuss. Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, I don't know if they could take a hit.
I mean, considering the fact that through his last three movies, Pierce Brosnan didn't have a scratch on him.
He didn't. Tomorrow Never Dies. At the end, he's bleeding quite a bit.
I would think he would have bled more in GoldenEye, though.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He whooped the crap out of Sean Bean, which is not cool. Anyway. Roger Moore, to me, just again, he kind of comes off as just pretentious and jerky. Like, I'm rooting for Nick Nack and Scaramanga in this movie. They got all the cool stuff. They do that amazing car stunt, which is ruined by the sound effect.
You're not thinking that.
I sure am, boy. Ever heard of Evel Knievel?
I've never done that before.
The stunt itself is unbelievable for the time.
Well, the thing that makes that awesome too is that J.W. Pepper's in the car with Bond.
Yes.
And he's just like, oh my God, you're not gonna. And then Bond's like, I sure am, boy.
And then there's flying cars. There's giant ray guns.
Let's just say this is when the series started to get a little too fantastical.
Yeah, Roger Moore, man.
But again,
I'm cool with it.
I feel like
I'm only not cool with it once we break orbit and go to outer space. Anything within that, I'm pretty okay with.
It's kind of sad Bond went to space before Fast and Furious.
I mean, Fast and Furious came out many decades later.
But still, I know. But still, with how ridiculous those movies are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. It's fun. It's definitely campy. It's definitely cheesy.
Yeah.
But, it's fun. It's a product of the time.
I love it. Yeah, it's a product of the time, especially with the plot involving, solar energy. Because I guess that they conceived this plot during the 1973 solar crisis. So, again, that's them trying to adapt a Bond movie for the times. What would Bond be afraid of? What would the audience be afraid of? So they're trying to adapt Bond into that, what was at the time, that modern world,
Yeah. And
I think that's a good strength that this movie has, trying to do that. I mean, this movie's not, great or anything, but it's definitely a really fun time.
Yeah.
This is, when I watch a series, this is always, if I mix them up, this is always the first Roger Moore one that I watch. Yeah.
Of course, since you don't live and let die. But the only other thing, going off Roger Moore, another reason this guy's a jerk. In this movie, he's gonna sleep with Goodnight, having a romantic evening.
Yep.
Maud Adams shows up. He literally pushes Goodnight into the closet
and leaves her there,
and then sleeps with Maud Adams while Goodnight's in the closet for us. That's messed up. That's the thing that makes me hate this man. I'm like, you kill him, Scaramanga. I don't even care. Christopher Lee's better than Roger Moore.
Yeah, he is.
R.I.P. to both of them.
Another thing I don't really like about this movie is the character of Mary Goodnight.
Yeah, she's terrible.
She's
just incompetent.
She's the definition of that stereotype of dumb blonde.
Yeah, just the idea that the Bond girls are just for show and they're not helpful, which eventually they fixed.
Yeah.
But back then, that was the epitome of she is just not helpful.
She's just there to be eye candy.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of feel bad because I don't think Britt Eklund is that good in this movie either, but I feel bad saying that because she wanted to be a Bond girl.
She didn't have any material.
Exactly.
She's literally the whole movie bumping into things.
Yeah, because she really wanted to be a Bond girl, so bad. She auditioned so hard for this movie to get that role. Yep. And then when Maud Adams was cast, she didn't think she got it. And then they're like, no, we're going to cast you in a different role. And then
a really bad role.
Yeah, they didn't give her. No, I think she would have been better if she was in a better movie and had a lot more to work with.
Yeah.
And if the director could have gotten a little bit more out of her in terms of her acting ability, because she's probably a great actress. I didn't really like her performance in this movie. I just didn't like her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. I don't like her either. She's the weak point of the movie.
Yeah, she's just that stereotypical dumb blonde, just a complete definition of that stereotype. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, it's a fun time.
This is a very fun movie. Don't let anybody tell you differently. If you like The Man with the Golden Gun, welcome to our club. Because I don't think there's a lot of people out there that like this one.
Hey, you know what?
This is
different strokes for different folks.
This is one of the Bond films that has the worst critical reviews. And I don't see why.
Well, that's upsetting.
I know, it is very upsetting. Overall, I'm gonna go with a B for Man with the Golden Gun. I think it's a very entertaining movie, very cheesy movie. There's definitely a lot of weirdness in this movie, some random stuff like the whole karate school. But that's kind of the charm of this movie, honestly. That's what makes this movie stick out to me and make it really fun to watch.
I'd give it a B as well.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's got one of the best villains, one of the best henchmen.
J.W. Pepper.
J.W. Pepper. There's just a couple things along the way that I think could have been fixed, but I mean, this is in terms of Roger Moore Bond films, this is one of the more fun Bond films he's made. Alright, so that concludes our review for The Man with the Golden Gun. Stay tuned for more reviews and James Bond reviews coming very soon. I'm Alex, that's Pat. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the movies somewhere. Bye.